We're going to talk about mindset tonight. I'm going to talk about self-limiting beliefs, and then just a little bit about just being a badass, just making this business your own, being really creative with it, and just having fun with it. And just sort of tied in with that, why I think sometimes people get a little burned out and just kind of lose their fire and their passion in this. So first thing, awesome month in January, guys. Honestly, just the fact that you were so consistent in the challenge groups and in your own health and fitness goals, that's huge. You're literally in the 95th percentile of the US population, because nobody does that shit. So be proud of yourself for that. It was a tough month, but I'm really excited for February with it being Team Cup. So I think that we have just a lot of cool, exciting things going on. But more so what I'm loving is just everyone's energy seems to be really high right now. So I just think that we should just keep going off of that. I know that we're all kind of busy and whatnot as we kind of get into warmer months and stuff. So just every week, do a little self-evaluation. If you need to lower numbers, increase numbers, you know that 1 week might be a little lighter, 1 week might be a little heavier. Just adjust your goals based on those things happening. Okay, so first thing I kind of want to talk about as far as the mindset goes, I kind of broke it up into your business and then your personal stuff. So as far as, I don't have a PowerPoint, to be honest with you, as far as this, so we'll just take notes tonight. But as far as your business goes and mindset is concerned, obviously the number one thing is your why. And I know that at some point it tends to become a little cliche. It tends to become something that you just hear over and over and over again. And it just seems like it's something that you have to have, something that you should have. But then when it becomes something that you feel like you have to have, or becomes something that you feel like you should have, then that becomes no different than your job and the things that you don't like doing in your life right now. So that's why you need to make it interesting. Constantly add to it as you grow, as your confidence is building, as you start to pay off certain things, you start to meet other people that are doing things with their lives that you never would have even imagined for yours. Add to it. Make it more exciting every single day. So definitely just your why being one of those as far as mindset goes. There's going to be days, guys, where you don't want to do this, where you're tired, where it's just been a long day. You were so excited. You were at work and you're telling yourself, I'm going to come home. I'm going to bust out this power hour and I'm going to send off these 10 invites. And you're tired and just don't want to do it. Tonight, I don't want to finish off these 12 invites that I have to do. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday were the best 3 days that I've had, in no lie, 2 months. My December and January, I sucked. I slacked off. I didn't do anything. I hit an awesome number of Success Club in December purely based off of inviting 100 people in one day. It was awful. I was miserable and it put me in a bad mood. And I was looking at people like a number. So when you have, the second part of this, a plan of action, this is so important. Your plan of action might not look anything like the person sitting next to you's plan of action looks like. What is a plan of action? That is sitting down, and every night that you go to make your to-do list, you look down and you think to yourself, okay, I want to send off 20 friend requests, 10 invites, and 10 hey girl messages. Think to yourself, what do you typically not get done? What do you dislike doing most, or what do you find that you spend the most time on? Do it first. It sucks the first couple of times. Just like starting anything new does, it's hard. You don't want to do it. It's a mental game with yourself. I want to do this because I want the reward. I don't want to do this because I want to sit on the couch and hang out and not do anything. We go back and forth and back and forth. Okay? So for me, I really don't like sending hey girl messages and friend requests. I don't know why, but I really don't like doing it. I just find it redundant and mundane and blah. But I wouldn't be able to invite anybody if I didn't send out a hey girl and a friend request. So I looked down at my to-do list and I realized that the past 3 days I've been kicking ass in my invites. But it's all old people. People I've already invited. People I've already talked to and built a relationship with. So today I sat down and I knew that I had 1 hour while this baby, since I was nannying, was sleeping. What was I going to do in that 1 hour that I know I wasn't going to do later? And in that 1 hour, it was, F it. I'm going to send off these hey girls in this friend request. And when you do that thing that you don't want to do, but you know you should do, and it's going to benefit you, you get on this high. And that feeling I had, I was like, I'm going to crush this day. This day is going to be awesome because I did that. And normally I wouldn't have done that. So figure out, what I mean by a plan of action is figure out, first off, how long does it actually take you to do certain things? For me personally, I know it takes me 1 hour to send about 25 to 30 invites. To be honest with you, Amy, my coach, Amy can send off 60 invites in 30 minutes. I can't do that. I write too much. I make shit way too personal. I go back into their why, their objections, all of that stuff. So I know it takes me an hour to send off 25 quality invites. That might not be the same case for you, but I can create a plan of action. I can sit down when I know I have 20 minutes. I'm not going to try to squeeze invites into that 20 minutes that I have because I know I'm not going to get any off. And I'm going to be able to cross off 3 things. But in that 20 minutes, I know I can follow 10 quality people on Instagram and send off a hey girl message to them. And something just to say, hey girl, I know this might be random, but I just started following your page. Just kind of want to say hi. I really like the mission that you're on, or I really like the healthy vibes that you share, things like that. And just kind of wanted to reach out and say hi. So simple. But I know that I can send those things off in that 20 minutes. So having a plan of action means that when you look at your power hour list, and your power hours could all be different, but when you look at your power hour, you know how long it takes you to invite. You know how long it takes you to friend request, send off hey girl messages, follow-ups, etc. So that when you have that random 15 minutes and you're sitting on the bus, you're waiting for laundry or dinner or whatever to cook, that you can sit down on your computer and be productive. Not sit down there and be like, oh, I know I need to do invites, so maybe I'll just shoot off 2. That's not productive, effective time. It's, I feel like I should do it, so this is what I'm going to do. Remember, this is your business. It's not just a job that somebody's telling you what to do. Make the most of your time with what you have. I really believe that people can build this business in 1 hour a day. Why I feel like people don't believe that is because they have no sense of how long it actually takes them to do things. And so they just think like, I don't have the time to do this. There's just way too much to do all at one time. No, figure out how long it takes you to do that and then delegate those pockets of your day to those tasks. It might take you a week, but hell, I'd be willing to give up a week to figure that shit out instead of giving up the next 60 years of my life to just say, F it, I don't feel like putting the time into it. The week's going to pass anyway. Third thing is making a schedule. So I know, for example, Ashley, right now, you're kind of all over the place with your new schedule. Mine is, I can't be consistent either because the baby might sleep 10 to 12 one day, but then she might be teething and screaming, crying 10 to 12 the next day. So I can't be consistent Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, it's like, well, that's my weekend. I don't want to do anything, right? I want to hang out. So that's why I make a schedule at the beginning of the week so that I can tell Ben right then and there, this is what I'm doing. Of course, I want to hang out with you and I don't want to do anything, but I want to hang out with you all the time, not just in 2 hours on Saturday. So give me this time. And why do you tell those people in your life that you're doing this? So that Ben doesn't tempt me and say, hey, let's go to a brewery today. Because I'll say yes. But if I'm not even asked, and I know that I've made this plan, I've made this schedule, he knows what it is, he knows he's my number one why, he won't even tempt me with asking those things. And then again, once you finish that to-do list, you feel so awesome and on this high, that it's just like, yeah, go out and do whatever you want. Or tell yourself, okay, let me just send off 10 invites. It's Saturday, I know I could do more, but I'd be happy with 10. Let me send these 10 off and then reward yourself. Go do what you want to do. Go on a hike, go to the gym, bake something, go to the vineyard, whatever you want to do. In that schedule, as you're making that out, again, I know that everyone's schedule is not the same. Again, that's honestly one of the coolest things about living in 2017 is that it's not always just 9 to 5 anymore. When you know your schedule, okay? When you know it, try to fill in the blocks of time with the things that you have to do, like work, appointments, grocery shopping, spending time with your significant other / family, whatever it may be. And for example, somebody like me that I don't always know what my schedule is, I give myself a 30-minute cushion room. So Ashley, that would be perfect for you, 30 minutes. So if you think to yourself, okay, I know I should be off work at like 8:15, but in case somebody's running late, in case there's traffic, whatever, I'm going to tell myself 8:45. So then that way, by the time you get home, it might be 9, but you didn't tell yourself 8:30 because that was like the last second that you're possibly going to be at the gym. Does all that make sense as far as like the timing thing goes? Just give yourself that time to play around with for a couple reasons. One being your mindset. Me, I know that I get to nanny, I'm there at 9, but I know that the dad doesn't really leave until like 9:30, 10 sometimes. So I don't even put down power hour until 10:30. That's an hour and a half after I'm there. But sometimes he doesn't leave right away, and I don't want to pop up open my computer while he's still there. So I give myself that cushion time so that I know if I'm working from 10:30 to 12, I feel really comfortable and I feel really confident that I'm going to be productive in that time. I'm not stressing out because I've given myself that time. And hell, if he leaves at 9:15, there's an extra hour and 45 minutes now that I have to do whatever I want. Give yourself that time so that you take that pressure off of yourself. Power hours. I've posted so many different little scripts and stuff in our team page, guys, but just Pinterest. But more than that, just figure out, what do you do? What do you do every day when you sit down at your computer? Figure out, again, how long does it take you to do those things? And then fit them into your schedule as you can. So for me personally, like I said, I know it takes me the longest time to friend request people and to send invites. I can send up follow-ups like that. I always have at least 40 unread messages in my inbox, which I know is awful, but nonetheless, I still do, I'm going to be honest. I message a lot of people on a daily basis. I don't always get back to them, especially if I see that they're not interested. I'm not spending my time talking to you right now. I'll get back to you next week or over the weekend when I'm catching up on everything. Right now, it's invite and talking to people that want to be a part of what I'm doing. You can wait. I'll overcome that objection over the weekend. But why power hours are so important, it's that you're not getting distracted by the fluff, okay? I'll be honest and tell you that, okay, for example, Melanie Mitro. Melanie Mitro didn't run challenge groups. Melanie Mitro built her business completely off of her blog, okay? Lucky for all of you, we run a huge-ass challenge group that's actually super freaking successful together. You are so blessed that we all have that. And not only that, that we actually have like a really cool group of people that are in it, posting every day. And the community that we've built, that's nuts. So when you're doing these power hours, don't think about, oh, I need to be making videos. I need to be making these workout videos with slideshows and things are flying in from the left and right with word that's bright and colorful. Don't worry about that stupid stuff. It doesn't matter. And if you really care, pay somebody $5 for an hour to design something for you on a different website like Fiverr, for example. You don't have to make it for yourself. So if you feel like you need YouTube and you need to have this Pinterest account or this beautiful Instagram with a theme or whatnot, but you don't want to put the time into it, you can literally pay somebody $5 for an hour. Mind you, they're probably only doing 10 minutes of work at a time. So think about all the things that they could do for you. I'll explain a little bit more about Fiverr if you guys are like actually interested in like making vlogs, like video blogs, and starting your own blog or making workout videos and things like that. I'll explain a little bit more about how Fiverr works because it's actually pretty awesome. Last part about like your business and your mindset is just constantly self-evaluating. Every single week you need to do it. What do I mean by self-evaluating? Couple things. One, you want to go through your goals and then your actual completed to-do list. For example, me, I know I'm not going to hit the 30 invites I wanted to send out today, but I know I'm going to get 15 in. And I know that now, Sunday when I reevaluate, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to make up those 15 invites. That was my goal. Yes, I always say it's an apple a day that keeps the doctor away, not 7 apples on Sunday. But if you can make up for it, make up for it. Because the guilt is going to weigh down on you, and this is all a mindset. Anyone can do this business. Anyone can do this. You just need a computer and a phone, which most people have in 2017. It is here. It is all here. So don't beat yourself up. Make up for it if you want to. If you're somebody that doesn't feel regret and whatnot, and you can just start fresh over the week, start fresh over the week. Remember, this is your business, and everyone is different. For me, I would feel guilty. I've been coaching for over a year now. There's no reason I can't get those invites in. I will be mad at myself if I don't get them. So Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to do 7 one day, 8 the next day to make up those 15. In that reevaluation, the other thing you want to do is go through your posts. Look at your posts and ask yourself which ones did well and which ones didn't. Because the ones that did well, they were still yours. They were still authentic. But if they did well, meaning people were commenting on them, people were liking them, then do more of those posts. You're attracting your tribe. Post more about that stuff. You don't want to just think to yourself, oh, well, just because no one liked this post doesn't mean that I should delete it or anything because it was me, right? But remember, this isn't just about you. This really comes down to how many people you help, because there's good and bad karma, and I think good karma is amazing. It will come back to you. So you have to put other people first, your niche market, your tribe first. Because if you put them first, they're going to put you first, which means that your business is going to grow. So I'll look back and I'll think to myself, I delete posts all the time. All the time. If I do a live video and I don't get at least 5 to 6 likes on it, I'll delete it. Why? Because on average, I get 10. So if it didn't get more than that, no. It wasn't my niche market. It's not something I want lingering on my page. I'll delete it. That is self-evaluating. So what does that mean? Like, what's the benefit of that? Well, when somebody comes to your page that you met from Instagram, for example, or new friends scrolling through your stuff, they're seeing all of these things that other people are loving. And not only just are those other people, but if there's somebody that does connect with you, they're going to connect with the people that are liking your posts. So then they're not only going to be a part of they're not only going to want to be a part of what you're doing, but they're just going to want to be in your space in general because of the people that you're connecting with and that you have in your life. So that's why you always want to be self-evaluating. So that's kind of like your business and mindset as far as all that goes. The flip side, I'm going to tell you 5 things, and I know that you're all going to be annoyed at me for saying these, but I'm going to say them anyway. Personal development. Personal development. I know it's so annoying. I'm so tired of even talking about it. But it's so true, guys. Personal development, I'm meaning team calls, the national wake-up call, and reading something. If you're not reading something, listening to something. And don't say that you don't have time to do it, because we all have time to do it. If you listen to the radio and you watch TV, you have time to listen or read personal development. You just don't want to give up that time. Think about that. Change your mindset. And I'll come back to all these at the end too, so keep asking questions. Call recordings. If you guys can't make them on the Team Boom call or the Team Tenacious call or the Island of Warrior calls, that's okay. I know we're not going to find one call that suits all of us, but are you making an effort to listen to it when the recording comes up? Because I post them all the time. Are you willing to listen to them? National Wake-Up Call. First off, do you even know where to find the National Wake-Up Call archive? Huge thing. If not, Google it. Google it. More than that, Amy's team calls. The coolest thing about Amy and her brother's teams are that they're like rock star coaches, guys. They're like in the top 30 of our company. That's insane. You're crazy not to take advantage of that training. Crazy. They get top 10 coaches on their call sharing their tips with them. And I said this before. Why do you think they're sharing these amazing tips that have created a 6-figure income and they're earning $12,000 a week? Why? Because they know that 95% of us aren't going to actually use it. They know we're not going to put it into place. We're going to stare at it. We're going to think it's awesome. We're going to think it's so great. We're going to make all these notes about it and talk about how awesome it is. We're not actually ever going to do anything with it. Best thing I ever did, when I listened to Megan Ewodson's call, I hated running free groups. I never ran free groups, ever. I did a whole year of coaching and I never ran a free group. Except I had that ongoing Her Healthy, Happy Life. But most of you kept it up and running. It was posting a recipe or whatnot a day. When she did that, I was thinking, okay, well, this bitch is a top 10 coach and she's pretty kick-ass and she knows what she's doing, so why wouldn't I try to run a free group? Just because I don't like doing it doesn't mean I couldn't like doing it. I just didn't like how I did them. So I stepped outside my comfort zone, checked out her video, watched it like 4 times because I still didn't understand what she was talking about, and I made it my own. No, my niche market is never going to follow something as strict as she posted. I wouldn't follow anything as strict as she posted, but I made it my own. So you can learn so much from them. After that, it's just a combination of plugging in, reaching out if you're struggling, reaching out not just to me, but reach out to Amy. She's awesome. Reach out to other coaches. Like my success partner right now, she is a coach that I followed on Instagram for so long. I didn't even know she was a Beachbody coach. She's like 55,000 followers on Instagram and she gets tens of thousands of likes on her posts. So like she actually has quality, devoted followers, not just a bunch of people that she's paying for. I met her on the cruise. I walked right up to her and I was like, I am so afraid to walk up to you right now, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think you're awesome. I actually want this business to work and not just be one of the other people that signs up for Beachbody and does it for a couple months and then falls off and says it doesn't work. It does work. You didn't make it work. So I walked right up to her and we started talking. We started doing power hours. It's awesome. We do 45 minutes together. It's nothing crazy, but she's awesome. She's kicking ass. She's been here for 4 years and her mindset is so incredible that I just get excited talking to her. Connect with other people. You meet Beachbody coaches on Instagram all the time. Don't just think to yourself, oh, I can't sell them something, so I'm not going to message them. Don't think that way. That could be the person that just like says something, you're like, oh my God, you're so right. Like, and then everything else in this business just clicks for you. 2 things I really do want to talk about though are fear and self-limiting thoughts. I've been hearing these a lot lately. From a few girls on our team. I've actually had a few people on Amy's team reach out to me, and then randomly messaging girls on Instagram that I never would have known were a coach because they don't post about it, find out that they're a coach. And all I kept hearing were just these self-limiting beliefs. Basically what that is just telling themselves who and what they think they are and why they can't do this. And a lot of things I've been hearing are, well, there's just so many successful coaches. Well, the cool thing is it's residual income and there's a lot of fucking people in this world, so who cares if there's a lot of coaches? There's a lot of personal trainers. There's a lot of people working retail, a lot of servers in the world. Yeah, we're all going and doing that stuff. Why? Because it's easy and everyone else does it, right? Yeah, this is big. This is different. This is scary. You're starting your own business. But be an adult. If you can do laundry and not like flood your entire house, you can message somebody on Facebook. Believe me, my sister doesn't even know how to do laundry and she still made it to 25 years old. You guys can all do this. Just cut out whatever you think it is. And the biggest thing about this whole self-limiting thing, guys, is acknowledge and accept that there are going to be days where you don't think you can do this, where this seems too hard, too overwhelming. There's not enough time in the day to do all the things that you want to do. I feel that way all the time. All the time. But ask yourself, is it really bad that you're feeling that way? Because in my opinion, too many people don't feel that way. And what happens? They just stay where they are and they get stuck in this contentment circle and don't do anything. Feeling like you should be doing more, that's a good thing. It means that you're not satisfied with the right here and the right now. And the best thing I heard lately was from Amy Silverman when she talked about what happiness is. And happiness really is progression. Are you growing and moving forward every single day? And by moving forward every day, it doesn't have to be you ran 5 miles today and then you run 10 miles tomorrow. But it could be you ate, 2 cookies today and only one cookie tomorrow. That's huge progress because most people can't do that. So be proud of yourself. And remember that we are different, guys. Most people don't want to start a business on top of working a full-time job. Most people don't believe that things like this work. So you should pat yourself on the back just for being here in general. And understand that it's okay to be hard on yourself. It means that you've set a standard for yourself. You know what you're capable of doing and achieving, and that's why you're not satisfied with the right here, right now. There are lots of days where I just get overwhelmed and I don't know where to start when I sit down on my computer. And that's when I just go back to the basics. I'm going to send out 5 messages, 5 invites, 5 friend requests, 5 hey girls. I'm going to get my momentum up. I'm going to build up that confidence, take it back to basics. And then from there, I'm just going to keep going and doing the same thing until I hit my numbers throughout the rest of the day. Make it super simple. The worst thing you can do is overcomplicate one of the most simple businesses out there. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about as far as like the whole mindset thing goes and it being personal, is just this fear. So I would say that my biggest fear personally right now is that people think I'm going to message them and I'm only messaging them to sell them something. So, and this is before we've ever even talked. We haven't even talked yet. But in my head, I'm thinking, okay, are they going to think it's weird that I send them a friend request and then I'm posting all this motivational stuff and joining my group, and most people don't say, hey girl, thanks for accepting my friend request when you randomly friend request somebody. So are they going to think something's up? I am seriously letting fear ruin everything before anything ever even started. So last night, I swear to God, I think I sat down. I was like, I've just been staring at this hey girl message for 8 minutes. Just fucking send it off. Just send it off. Be weird, be quirky, be you. And if they're your niche market, they're going to respond to it. And if not, there's one person that you don't have to unfriend once you hit your 5,000 limit. So not a bad thing at the end of the day. Think about what your fear is and how do you overcome that. 1, reading the book, Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. It is awesome. It really is just like talking about getting over your fear, going and doing things anyway, and then failing forward. So nobody responds to the message. Who cares? Just keep sending them off anyway because somebody's going to respond. All of you responded. If I let that fear hold me back all the time, I mean, goddamn, you guys don't even know. Ashley, I messaged Ashley 100 times. I knew she would make a great coach because I knew that she was so passionate about this. I had this fear in my head that she was this badass trainer and I was kind of half-assing my training. That this was somebody that could have literally gone on and made this. She was an engineer. I'm not even using my college degree. All these things I let hold myself back for so long that I was just kind of like, well, I'll just leave it in her court. And then finally I started building up my confidence. I was like, you know what? I like her a lot. And I really feel like she'd be really good at this. And I feel like we would become really great friends. So I got over it. It was scary as shit. And there was a lot of objections I had to overcome, but I grew from it. And she's here today, helping people, loving her life. And now, not only just doing something that she loves, but she had the guts to leave a job she didn't like to now do 2 jobs that she loves. That's crazy. That's nuts. So go with the fear. Lead with it anyway. Tell them you're afraid. Tell them, I've literally told people, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm so nervous to reach out to you right now because you're A, B, and C, and I feel like I'm A, B, and C. Self-limiting thoughts, fear. Combine them. Show them that you're a real person. You're vulnerable. You're scared, but you're just it anyway. You're just a normal human sitting behind a computer screen that hopes the person you're talking to is just nice. They don't have to join you. Just hope that they're nice. Get over the fear. Do it anyway. And if you're scared, guys, YouTube stuff. YouTube is a beautiful thing. So last couple of questions I just kind of want to like put in your head since we have about 9 minutes left. I don't want you girls to get stuck in the challenger mindset. I will say that we have had a really, really awesome group of girls going so far in our challenge group. I think it's incredible. They're up to like 40 people now that have been with us for 4+ months. Like, It's really cool, and it's very different from what most people have created. But more than that, don't get stuck in the challenger mindset. Don't get stuck hanging out in challenge groups. Because once they're there, let everyone else on the team love on them. Your job is to just check in with them. Your job isn't to get results for them. You can't cook for them, and you can't make them work out. You can support them and love on them, but more importantly, you have to lead by example. You need to be posting. You need to be talking about personal development, sharing that on your page. You need to show them that you're inviting other people to be on this journey. Why? Because when they see that you're asking other people, they're kind of going to get a little jealous. I know that that sounds weird, but they're going to want to be like your number one client, your number one customer. So when you start inviting other people and they see that and people are joining you, they're going to up their game. They're going to up their game because they want you to put them first, you to think about them. So ultimately what happens, they become a goddamn coach and they start to do the same thing to other people. That's all this is. Do your vitals and then teach other people to do them for you. Coolest thing about our challenge groups is that we're teaching them how to be coaches. You guys probably don't even know this, but I think right now everyone in our challenge group, minus maybe 3 out of like the 40 people, are actually coaches. They might not be actively working the business, but they're all coaches, which is really, really cool. Why? Because I tell them, if you want to stay in this group, you want the accountability, you want the support, become a discount coach. I'll put you at the top of my to-do list every day, but you got to be giving something to me too. That's exactly how I lead with it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. As a personal trainer, I would say the same thing. I'm not going to take time out of my life to come and train you on a Saturday if you're not paying me. No, I got a life. I'm willing to help you. I want to help you. But I want to put food on my table and travel sometime in the next 5 years too. So this is what it is. So what is it? 2 questions I want to leave you off with are, 1, do you actually know what it takes to reach the goals that you want to reach? So I'll put this into perspective. For you, my goal at the end of 2017 is I want to be a 10-star diamond coach. That's nuts. Why? I don't have a 1-star diamond coach right now. But self-limiting belief. If I just tell myself, oh, well, I can't do that. I don't even have 1-star diamond right now. Well, then no shit, I'm not going to get that. I'm never going to have that. I'm going to be thinking about that all the time. But instead what I'm thinking about, okay, Ben's so close to a diamond. There's my 1-star. My mom's really close to diamond. There's my 2-star. I've got some rock star coaches. If I love on them and build them up and help them and train them and talk to them daily, they can do it too. 10, yeah, it's a goddamn push goal. I'm probably not going to hit 10. But I'm going to keep telling myself anyway. So that when I hit 5-star, I'm going to be really, really happy and really proud of myself. Because I push for that 10. I'll settle for 5. I'll deal with it. Ask yourself, what does it actually take? And for me, that means I'm working 4 hours on Saturdays and Sundays. Not a big deal for me because Ben sleeps until 11 o'clock anyway. I'm up at 6:37. There's my 4 hours. Busted out in the morning. What else was I going to do with that time? Sleep? I have the rest of my life to sleep. On a beach. On an island that I'm living on. Because of Beachbody. Right? You have to dream big. You have to dream big. Even sometimes when I'll talk to Ben about like this dream life that we want to build and he'll like throw out money or something right then and there. I'm like, stop. You're killing my vibe. And if you can't dream with me right now, I don't want to talk about it. I say it all the time. Don't kill my vibe because most people don't feel like this. So once you have that feeling, run with it. Go with it. Hold on to it. Fuel it and run with that momentum. Just because you sent out 5 invites, if you feel like a rock star that day, go for 5 more. If you have the time, do it. Do it. The second question was, are you using things as an excuse not to do something? Or are you using things in your life as the reason to do something? When I was in Mary Kay for a year, I could have punched my director in the face when she said this to me. Because I was like, my dad just had a heart attack and started freaking out and all this other stuff. And she said the words to me, all right, so are you going to use your dad's sickness as an excuse to not have the opportunity to make 6 figures a year where you could be paying for his medical bills and the insurance and all of his medications and whatnot? Or are you going to use that as, your reason to kick ass? And I looked at her at the time. I had no idea what personal development was. I was 22 years old with 32 women on my team. I had no idea what I was doing, and I quit. I was in the middle of Dallas, in the middle of Mary Kay's headquarters. And I looked around and I was like, well, first off, this isn't for me. But then secondly, I wasn't strong enough, and I left and I quit. So being here today, I can tell you, use whatever it is that you've been using as an excuse as your reason to make this happen. I had one of my best friends in the world became a coach 2 months after I became a coach on my team. And she was doing so great. She had enrolled in like her first 3 days of her business. She was doing awesome. But her excuse was, I don't have enough time with my family. I never see my kids. I never see my husband. I can't do this anymore. It's taking too much time away from them. 2 things happened wrong there. One, she was thinking too short term, way too short term. She didn't have a big vision. She didn't have a why that she thought about every single day. And she was using not having enough time as an excuse to not do this business. Rather than, I don't have any time, so right now I'm going to use this as my reason. I don't have the time anyway, so why not sacrifice an extra hour of it so that eventually, and not, when I say eventually, guys, you have the opportunity to make your amazing life happen in 4 to 5 years if you only do like 1 hour a day. If you do more than 1 hour a day, you can make this business, and by business happen, I mean making over 6 figures a year in 1.5 to 2 years. Again, it's just how fast do you want it to work? 4 to 5 years for 6 figures, being your own boss, living anywhere in the world that you want to, paying off all of your debt, and being with the people that you want to be? Hell yeah, you should be willing to give up 4 to 5 years. Because you're not giving it up. Look at the friendships that you're making. And you're focusing on your health and your fitness, and you're making an impact on your life and others. So asking yourself excuses versus reasons, and do you really know what it takes to reach the goals that you've set? So I'm going to leave you off at that because we do have less than a minute. Just to kind of go back super quick. Actually, I know what you mean. Like, I feel guilty and stuff with playing catch up all the time. Instead of trying to do like 100 things in one day, spread it out. Like I said, I know I have 15 invites to make up. I'm not going to try to do 15 extra on top of my 30 on Saturday. I'm going to do 7 Saturday, 8 Sunday. Divide it up to fit your schedule and how you want to do things. So you're not feeling stressed, you're feeling proud, but you're alleviating that guilt. And then Grace, I don't know. I got to say, I mean, You Are a Badass is definitely an awesome one. Get Your Shit Together. Get Your Shit Together by Sarah Knight is awesome. I've never felt so productive and prioritized. It was a really great book. I've actually been pairing that with 4-Hour Work Week. I've been reading them both at the same time because there's one's a little sarcastic, one's a little bit more like straightforward, but there's a lot of exercises you can actually do in the books, and I normally don't do those. For some weird reason, I'm actually doing these in these books. It could just be this was the one that got me to do it. Other books haven't. Like when I read Compound Effect and Slate Edge and any of those other things, I never actually did the exercise at the end of the chapter, ever. For some reason, I'm actually doing these. I like